Do you have this problem that you know hundreds and maybe thousands of English words, but when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank? If yes, then you are not alone here. Yes, because this is one of common problem that every learner face. Even I faced when I was a beginner, and I still face this, yeah. So it's very common problem. You know what happens to me? Whenever I have a conversation and I go in a casual way, then I'm flawless with full confidence. But when it comes to discuss a particular topic, then I get stuck. I get stuck to get that exact word at that particular moment when I want to use that word, but I don't get at that time. My confidence is from here to here. Yes. So at that moment, I start talking to myself that, see, you are not fluent yet. You have to practice. You still need to practice more and more. So in this video, I'm going to explain you why that happens with you, and I'm going to share practical tips that will help you. So let's dive in. So at first, let's know the problems, like what are the problems we are facing. So the most common reason, that is spending more time to learn. Yes, if we are spending more time to learn, just like learning sentence structure, reading books, phrases, idioms, all the things we start learning, right? But it is useless if you are not, using that all thing, if you are not actually trying to speak by the use of that all ingredients. So why ingredients? Here I want to give you an example, that is, suppose you want to make biryani. Okay, so for that you have collect all the ingredients like biryani masala, lot of things there were. So you have collected all that, but now you are not making. You are thinking, I would be able or not to make it. So in the same way, you have all the ingredients to make English spicy, but you are not actually speaking. The action plan you are not doing. That is most important. Until and unless you will not, that your biryani, you will not try to make, you didn't able to get it. Whether it is taste or tasteless, you will not get. Similarly, in your language, if you learned so many things, but you are unable to speak, then it is totally useless. The second reason, that is overthinking. Yes, we think over. Whenever we are actually about to go to make phone calls, we start thinking that we feel even nervous. Okay, we feel nervous. Then after that we make phone calls. Then what actually we feel, during our conversation, we actually get that fear of making mistake. That's why before speaking we used to think, we used to translate in our mind in a proper way, like correct grammar form and all the correct form. So that's why we actually face this problem. We get stuck because we are thinking over. So why to think over? This is why we are facing this problem. It was quite common in my case. I am the one who think over, and it happens so many times with me that I still have that, fear of making mistake. That's why in front of my classmate at my college, I won't be able to speak flawlessly. I actually not, because of fear of making mistakes. So that's also one of a great problem and reason why we are getting stuck and we are having so many words, but still we are unable to speak it properly. So you have to kill that fear of making mistakes. Okay. And the third problem I would like to mention, that is try to impress other person. Yeah. So why I am actually mentioning this? Because sometimes when we are in the intermediate level, we want to use advanced vocabulary. Yes. Suppose we remember a lot of vocabs, like some kind of advanced vocabs, and we want to use it. Okay. So what happens when we have a conversation, we are avoiding to use basic words and we want to use advanced vocabulary. So at that moment, we are unable to get that advanced vocabulary. We are not using that, that basic and simple word. We are just looking for that advanced. That's why we are taking time to think. Whenever we are speaking, we want to use that advanced vocabulary and we are thinking so. So that's the reason that we get stuck. So don't try to do this. Even in my case, I was actually like that. When I reached in the intermediate level, I was like, now I don't have to use basic words. I have to make my language a bit impressive. That's why, I was actually avoiding to use that all basic words. That's why I was actually getting stuck, while I was expressing my thoughts, because I was like, looking for that advanced vocabulary and I was not getting that. So that is also one of the reason that we face. So these are the reasons that make us fumble, that make us, not able to speak flawlessly. So how can we cope up this all problem? I want to give you 3 actionable tips that you can follow. Okay? So the first tips is manage your time. Yes, you have to manage your time. How? Let me explain it. See, you have 100% in your hand, okay? And you have to divide it into 2 parts. One for consuming, second for producing. Okay? So if you are in a beginner level, then what you have to do, if you are in a beginner level, then give your 60% to produce and 40% to consume. Okay? Once you reach in an intermediate level, then you have to increase your percentage to produce something. You have to give 70% for producing and 30% for learning. Okay? So consuming, that means when you listen, when you read, and when you remember all the things related to English. So that is, you are just consuming and learning. Okay? And producing, that means when you are using the language, when you are speaking and when you are writing. So these 2 activities that when we are producing. So this is very important to fix it by giving a percentage, because somehow we don't know. Somehow we give more time to consume and very less time to produce. But it will not work if you are following in at that way. In my case, I was like that. I was consuming. Maybe I could say I was giving 60 to 70% to consume and 20 to 30% just for producing. That's the reason, it will not give you rapid result. You will learn, of course, you can speak, but it will take time. So the more you will give time to produce, the faster result you will get. Therefore, it is very important to divide your percentage like that. Okay, got it? So the second tips, that is, you have to make yourself confidence when you speak English. Yeah. So making confidence, that means whenever you have a conversation to somebody, don't let them know that you are a beginner. Yes, you have to speak with full confidence. Whether you are making so many mistakes, that doesn't matter. Just try to speak fluently. Just try to show your confidence. If you will show your confidence, then you will overcome these all problems, thinking over that whether you can speak or not. So you can overcome by just showing yourself confidence. So why I am saying this thing, because this is one of my personal experience, that I was having one friend of mine. She was literally, her English was very bad. She used to make so many mistakes, but she was having a bold voice, and with full confidence. Whenever she used to speak English, she was full of confidence. That's why whenever she started speaking, it sounds so bold and like an advanced speaker is speaking. Yeah, somehow we started avoiding her mistake just because of her confidence. So I actually appreciate this quality of her, and it is one of great quality. You have to adopt it. Okay. Now, third tips, that is, speak slow and simple. Yeah, you have to speak slow and simple way. Don't try to add fancy and advanced vocabulary in your speaking. Okay, and don't speak speed. Sometimes what exactly we do, that after reaching in an intermediate level, we think now we have to start speaking very fast and we have to use advanced vocabulary. So at that moment, to make our English very fancy, we somehow make so many mistakes, and even we are unable, we got stuck whenever we explain something. just because we are looking for advanced vocabulary. So no, you shouldn't do that. So if you have this weakness that you are not able to speak slowly, as I have this problem, when I use my native language, you can't understand me, I'm so fast. But in English, you could get a bit slow, but still you can observe me, I'm so fast sometimes because I'm working on it, that how can I speak in a slow way. So there is a solution. How can you work in this weakness if you have? Like, you have to use your recorder, start recording your voice, okay, and start speaking in a slow motion. Later on, after recording, then you will get that you used exact vocabulary during your recording. That's the power of slow speaking. That's why I consider it's very good. We must have to pay attention to speak slow, calmly, and in a correct way. Okay? So, these were the 3 tips that you can follow, and remember, it's normal if you know lot of English words and you are struggling to speak, then be calm, be relaxed, because speaking is a kind of skill that takes time. Therefore, we have to keep practice and keep patience, okay, and definitely you're gonna become a fluent speaker one day if you will keep your patience. That's very important. So that's all that I wanted to share in this video, and I hope this video will help you if you are also facing this problem. So I will catch you in another video with new information. Till then, you have to take care of yourself, okay? And shoot your all negative thoughts and live your life like you are the king of your life. Okay? So, bye.